What if I told you that the perfect gospel family, the ones who made you cry, shout hallelujah, and believe in black love, might just be built on secrets, silence, and a whole lot of spiritual gaslighting? Yeah, I said it. Because behind those Sunday smiles and matching church outfits, Porsche Mann just dropped a nuclear-level accusation on her own father, David Mann. And baby, it's not giving blessed and highly favored. It's giving neglect, control, and a silent cry wrapped in gospel runs and lace front wigs. In her words, he watched her suffer and did nothing. Wait, hold up. You mean David Mann? The funny man? The family man? Mr. Brown himself? The same man allegedly pushing his wife to perform, ignoring her cries for help, and smiling for the cameras while Tamela Mann's body was shutting down from the inside out?
Chilly.
Grab your communion cups, because what we're about to uncover is so twisted, so bold, and so scandalous, you might just want to lay hands on your screen. Let's talk about how 100 pounds of pain, a stage, and a silent ICU room became a war zone, and why Porsche just might be the only one brave enough to tell the truth. Let's not play dumb. We all thought the Mann family was the blueprint for wholesome gospel royalty, matching outfits, funny TikToks, sold-out Christian tours, and those tear-jerking worship ballads. But behind all the praise the Lord and YouTube family vlogs, there was one thing nobody saw coming. Porsche Mann standing up and saying, "My father is the reason my mama can't walk today."
Yeah.
Let that sit for a second. This isn't just a daughter venting. This is a full-blown exposé in holy heels. And according to sources close to the ICU room where Tamela Mann currently lies, silent and unable to move, Porsche's words aren't just an emotional outburst. They're a desperate truth bomb. So, what the heck happened? Let's rewind. Tamela Mann, the vocal powerhouse behind Take Me to the King, the woman whose voice has touched millions, had just lost a jaw-dropping 200 pounds. The Christian world couldn't stop praising her discipline. Women wanted her diet. Churches booked her for wellness sermons. Gospel blogs said God did it. But according to Porsche Mann, God had nothing to do with it. What really happened was far more disturbing. Apparently, Tamela's transformation wasn't powered by divine intervention or kale smoothies. It was built on pain, surgeries, pressure, and silence. And at the center of it all, one man, David Mann. Now, let's get one thing straight. Porsche has always respected David publicly. She grew up under his roof. She called him Dad, even though they didn't share blood. But when her mother, the same woman who raised her as her own, ended up in a hospital bed, unable to walk, unable to speak, Porsche finally said what's been haunting her for years. He pushed her until she broke. According to insiders, the weight loss wasn't just cosmetic, it was extreme. Behind those smiling Tamela Instagram posts were injections, muscle atrophy, exhaustion, and multiple emergency surgeries. But the show didn't stop. It never did. Even when Tamela begged for rest, even when she said, "I can't do this," David said, "We can't cancel now. We already sold tickets."
Let that sink in.
This wasn't ministry anymore. It was manipulation disguised as hustle. And if you're thinking, well, maybe he didn't know how serious it was, think again. Because sources, including one family nurse, revealed that Tamela was often given performance-boosting meds just to make it through concerts. These weren't supplements. These were high-grade injections used to mask fatigue and inflammation. Her legs were swelling. Her breathing was labored. She once collapsed backstage for 13 seconds without a pulse. They called it low blood sugar. Porsche says it was a straight-up code blue. But guess what happened the next day? Tamela's face was on posters again. Her management team called it a minor health dip. Meanwhile, her actual daughter was sitting outside the hospital room, praying that her mother would wake up and remember her name. She told him she was tired. He told her she was too blessed to be tired. This is what Porsche calls toxic faith hustle. And baby, it's not a ministry. It's a machine. Let's talk about the machine. David Mann, the charming, hilarious gospel husband we all know from Meet the Browns, was allegedly turning Tamela's health journey into a commercial empire. You heard me. While Tamela was being rushed into surgery, her face was slapped on detox faith kits, AI-generated wellness videos, and even a subscription-based virtual choir app where her old songs were repackaged as fresh devotionals. Porsche didn't even know these things existed until she saw ads running under her mother's name while she was in ICU. That was the moment she snapped. She started asking questions. Who approved this? Where's the money going? Why is my mother's pain being used as a product? The answers? Let's just say they weren't holy. One leak, reportedly from a former assistant, revealed that Tamela's face was licensed without her direct signature. That's right. The contracts were apparently signed through a power of attorney workaround, under David's oversight. Porsche called it what it was. You didn't cover her. You exploited her. Behind the scenes, there were spreadsheets, timelines, and social media templates ready to go, all built around Tamela's comeback, even though no one knew if she'd ever come back. And when Porsche confronted the team, what did they say? We didn't want to panic the public. Oh, so y'all chose image over integrity, merch over medical bills. One of Tamela's old church friends, who asked to stay anonymous, told us. She was in pain. She was asking for a break. But the brand was too big to slow down. They just kept saying, the kingdom needs you. Kingdom? You mean tour revenue. You mean $79. 99 tickets. You mean selling tickets to faith retreats using her name while she was unconscious on a ventilator. And you know who was not in those planning meetings?
Porsche.
She was busy sleeping in hospital chairs, fasting, anointing her mother's hands with oil, begging God for a miracle, while her father was posting vacation selfies with "Stay prayed up" in the captions. It gets worse. After one particularly brutal procedure involving nerve regeneration and lower spinal reinforcement, doctors told the family Tamela may never walk again. If she's pushed too soon, her organs could shut down. Porsche begged David to cancel everything. Dad, just shut it all down. Let her heal. Let her be. But his response? We'll see how she feels next month. Next month? Sir, she can't stand. According to Porsche, that was the day she realized this wasn't about faith. It wasn't about love. It was about control. And from that moment on, she decided to do something the gospel world wasn't ready for. Tell the truth. And right when Porsche decided to go public with her accusations, David's team tried to shut her down. One PR rep allegedly told her, "You're going to destroy the legacy." Her answer? "This legacy ain't worth my mama's life." And that's where we'll pick up in this video, because what happened next involves deleted footage, Instagram censorship, secret recordings from the hospital hallway, and yes, a gospel-wide panic that no one saw coming. You ready? So when we last left off, Porsche Mann had just dropped a bomb on the gospel community. She wasn't whispering anymore. She wasn't protecting anybody's image. She was exposing it raw, unfiltered, and furious. And the moment she spoke, all hell broke loose. Let's start with the Instagram blackout. Porsche posted a video. Nothing crazy. No music, no edits. Just her, sitting in her car crying, saying, "My mom is in a wheelchair. My dad said he was protecting her, but he was protecting the tour schedule." It hit 300,000 views in 2 hours. Then poof, gone. Flagged for misinformation. Then her account got temporarily locked for suspicious behavior. Suspicious behavior? She's not selling crypto. She's not spreading conspiracy theories. She's telling y'all that her mother can't feel her legs. Meanwhile, gospel gossip blogs, you know, the ones that post every time someone blinks in a choir robe, went radio silent. Nothing from Praise Nation, Church and Shade, or The Anointed Tea. All the same blogs that posted Tamela's detox tea 5 times in 1 week suddenly forgot how to type.
Why?
Because David Mann's team was doing damage control. And they weren't just scrubbing the internet clean. They were rewriting the narrative in real time. Let me break this down for you. An anonymous insider from the Mann's production house leaked a confidential media directive labeled Image Priority Protocol, TM Recovery. It read like something out of a Netflix scandal doc. No acknowledgement of permanent damage, avoid the word paralysis, repost old fitness footage to maintain strength, narrative limit Porsche's visibility across all channels. You read that right. They were using old Tamela gym clips from 2022 to make it look like she was still active while she was undergoing spinal regeneration therapy in a private facility. Oh, and that wellness devotional she supposedly recorded 2 weeks ago? It was AI generated. You heard me. A source close to the production revealed that an AI version of Tamela's voice was licensed to a Christian app without her current consent. Her daughter didn't even know. David allegedly signed off using an old contract clause from 2019. So while the real Tamela was being lifted in and out of bed by nurses, her virtual self was out here saying, "Sisters, stay strong. God's giving you strength daily." Strength? She couldn't even move her fingers. And you want to talk about strength? Porsche Mann was holding up an entire family alone, while fake clips, AI quotes, and filtered newsletters painted a story of peace and progress. No progress. No peace. Just pain and profit. Let's talk money because, honey, it always comes back to that. Another insider, this one allegedly from Tamela's old tour management, leaked screenshots of emails that showed some shocking things. Revenue projections labeled post-surgery bounce-back campaign, brand collaboration pitches timed to Tamela's recovery reveal, VIP tickets to upcoming worship shows where Tamela's appearance was still uncertain. Let me break this down in plain English. They were already selling the comeback before they knew if she'd survive. And when Porsche demanded answers, she got hit with legal threats. One leaked message, reportedly from a PR manager working with David's label, said, "Porsche's statements are damaging to brand equity. We advise a cease and desist letter if she continues." Brand equity. Your wife is in a bed with a DNR order, your daughter is begging for truth, and you're worried about brand equity? At this point, it wasn't even about family anymore. It was about a $1 million gospel machine that didn't want the wheels to stop turning. Meanwhile, fans started waking up. Remember that prayer line Tamela always hosted? It was quietly canceled in March, then quietly brought back last month, hosted by Tamela's Spirit Team. What the heck is a Spirit Team? Turns out, it's a group of hand-picked speakers reading her old quotes, like, she was still involved. Someone even said, Tamela says she feels stronger each day, and she knows the Lord is moving her legs again. The doctors haven't confirmed any movement. That's when fans started getting suspicious. One superfan who runs a Tamela Mann update page posted side-by-side clips. 2021, Tamela walking unassisted on stage. 2024, Tamela being wheeled into a clinic with her head down caption. Why are we being lied to? Why isn't David saying anything? The post went viral. Hashtag Where is Tamela trended on gospel Twitter. Then came hashtag Let Porsche Speak, a hashtag started by fans demanding that Porsche's voice not be silenced by PR lawyers. Even Tamela's former background vocalist posted something cryptic. The truth will come out. One daughter already started. The rest of us are praying about how to join her. Oh, so Porsche is not alone. There are more. And now, the panic has officially begun. A leaked legal doc sent to media outlets by mistake revealed that David's camp is bracing for a public investigation into medical misrepresentation lawsuits over unauthorized brand usage, financial audits into church-funded tours, and a possible permanent split between Porsche and David's camp. In fact, a source close to the man says that David and Porsche haven't spoken in 3 months. Even once. Tamela's health is still not stable. Her ability to walk again? Unknown. And her public presence is still being artificially maintained by team-curated posts that may or may not have her blessing. This ain't just sad. It's scary. Because when the people closest to you use your face to sell a lie, who's left to fight for the truth? The answer? Porsche. She's not a gospel star. She's not a preacher. She's not on tour. She's just a daughter trying to bring her mother home. With honesty. And as she told a friend in a now-deleted IG Live, if speaking up ruins their perfect image, so be it. I'd rather have a broken family than a broken mother. Let that sink in. Because in this video, the entire machine starts to fall apart. We're talking insider confessions, backup singers going public, church leaders cutting ties, and one pastor who says, the truth is bigger than all of us. You're not ready. When a life finally meets the light, Even the strongest house of cards trembles. And honey, the Mann family empire is shaking hard. After Porsche Mann's public eruption and the gospel world's rage, the wheels of justice, loyalty, and plain old morality started spinning in unexpected directions. First up, backup singers. Yes, the women who harmonized behind Tamela's soaring vocals began posting cryptic stories on their private IG accounts. We loved her like a sister, but we watched her body break, and no one said a word. Until now. One former choir director, who asked to remain anonymous but whose voice cracked with emotion, told us, there were nights when she was in tears backstage. She'd whisper, "I'm so tired." And David would pat her shoulder and whisper back, "Just one more song." That one more song was a death sentence. These confessions ripped open the wound. Suddenly, what had been hidden in rehearsals and green rooms was splashed across social media. Fans flooded the replies with, "Why didn't any of you speak up? You let her suffer in silence." And then the venue technicians chimed in. She could barely stand on stage. We had to prop her up with a mic stand, but we did what we were told. And who told them? You guessed it, David's tour management. Next, the churches. The ones that once rolled out the red carpet for Tamela's worship nights. When hashtag #LetPorscheSpeak started trending, a few key pastors quietly removed their upcoming Tamela and Friends events from their calendars. No announcements, no apologies, just vanishing acts. One senior pastor in Atlanta, who featured Tamela as his keynote speaker last year, told us off the record, "We believed the narrative. We booked her based on what management told us. But after hearing Porsche's side, we couldn't morally support the events. We canceled the series." Another megachurch in Dallas replaced Tamela's slot with a Women of Worship panel. No mention of Tamela. Promotional graphics were changed overnight. The unspoken message was clear. You either choose truth or you choose revenue. Perhaps the most dramatic moment came when Reverend Simone Hart, a nationally syndicated preacher and former collaborator with Tamela, released a video statement. "I've been part of the gospel industry for decades. I've seen miracles. I've seen betrayal. But what we're witnessing now is a reckoning. The truth is not just a buzzword. It's bigger than your brands. It's bigger than your Billy Graham tribute concert. I urge every leader, every artist, every believer, listen to Porsche. Because if we don't, we are complicit." Reverend Hart's sermon clip exploded, over 500,000 shares in 24 hours. It was gospel's version of dropping a truth bomb under the church steeple. With public outcry skyrocketing, the legal vultures circled fast. Attorneys began sniffing through the details for class action potential. Unauthorized use of likeness. Thousands paid for Tamela transformation kits. But where did the money go? Medical misrepresentation. Selling recovery retreats based on a false narrative of improvement. Emotional distress. Porsche's mental anguish from witnessing her mother's suffering and being silenced. One celebrity lawyer known for high-profile defamation suits told us, "These are textbook cases. You can't market a woman's medical condition as a miracle product while she's in an ICU. The statute of limitations hasn't even started ticking yet." Already, rumors swirl of a potential subpoena of David Mann's management contracts, book deals, and church donation records. And guess who's leading the charge? A coalition of disgruntled fans turned private investigators, armed with screenshots, forwarded emails, and that leaked image priority protocol doc. Money talks. And in this saga, it's screaming. Donor platforms that once tallied six-figure contributions for Tamela's healing fund are now refunding supporters. A crowdfunding site removed a $250,000 Get Well Soon campaign after verification requests. One donor complained, "I contributed because I thought I was helping her recovery. Now I feel scammed." Meanwhile, some worship merchandise websites delisted Tamela-branded t-shirts and hoodies. The Jesus Scrub sold out, only to return with a 10% of proceeds go to Tamela's hospital care disclaimer. An echo of damage control. But even that feels too little, too late. Because the real damage to Tamela's health, Porsche's trust, and the gospel community's moral compass can't be undone with a hashtag or a refund. Perhaps the most heart-wrenching aftermath? The rift in the Mann family. Porsche's accusation has split relatives into two camps. Team Porsche. Her supporters say she embodies true